Greetings, my fellow Fright Fiends. It's your buddy Boogeyman Ben here for a new episode of Boogeyman Ben's Horror Zone. And this is my segment called Building a Horror Zone. This was initially started last year when I was beginning to work on a memoir about being a horror fan. The last time I did one of these was back in August. So it's been a long time, and it's just because there's been a lot that's happened. A lot of things just kind of sidetracked me from the project that I had set forth for myself in 2018, and it disappointed me that I didn't get to do what I set out to do. I've been kicking around the memoir idea in my head for like the last several months while going through some personal stuff. I had some personal issues last year with just stress and nerves and maybe midlife crisis, who knows what it was, but it put me in kind of a weird, almost depression. It was just a depression unlike anything I had ever felt before, almost one that was kind of saying that you haven't achieved anything you wanted to do. And it made it hard for me to process writing the memoir that I had, started laying out and kind of figuring out how each chapter should go. And I think a lot of it had to do with not only that aspect of it where I was going through some kind of depression, but also the fact that I didn't really have a clear focus. I was trying to tackle too many subjects. And I think that's what kind of got lost in the translation when I was trying to lay out the story that I was trying to tell about my youth and growing up and how I became all of this wonderfulness that's here behind me in this room. It all started from my youth, and I really just wanted to tell a story that I felt like others could relate to, people that, grew up in the same time and had the same likes and were looked at as different or odd. I really wanted that to come across, and it just wasn't. Horror is a much more acceptable medium now. Even if there are still detractors that say it's got its highs and lows, and they're always declaring it dead if the genre has kind of a weak year in terms of movies or television shows or box office or whatever. Horror is big now. Horror is in. And when I was a kid, it was more of a cult thing. It was mainstream to a point, but it was still looked at as something that was destroying the fabric of society. It was poisoning kids' minds and giving them nightmares and making them think things they shouldn't be thinking. Adam Green has said this as well, is that it was one step above pornography. It was really looked at as a lower art form. And growing up in that time, I was a different kid. I mean, I loved my childhood. I think about it now and realize how special that time was. But I just didn't fit. There was something about me that was odd. And I don't know what it was, but I had a hard time fitting in. I had a hard time fitting in at school. I had a hard time fitting in sometimes even in my own family. People just thought I was different. I wasn't a normal boy. I didn't like sports. I wasn't very physical in terms of being active outside. I did like to swim at my grandparents' pool with my cousin and friends and things like that. But I was more of I liked art. I loved, I wasn't a very good drawer, but I tried. I liked writing stories. I loved watching movies. I loved reading. I loved music. Those were the things that I was passionate about. I just felt like, when you say that you try to put a round peg into a square hole, that's just how I felt. And I still feel like that, even in my, almost mid-40s, which is odd. And you think you're going to find your way in life, and things are just going to work out, and you're going to find you're going to be focused, and you're going to find, what your purpose is. And I still, to this day, don't know what my purpose is. And I started doing these videos and things like that because I wanted to share my passion with people that I thought would be like-minded, people that were into the same things that I was, because there were so many people in my life, friends and family, that just really weren't into it. And that's what I was trying to convey in the memoir, and I feel like I finally understand what I need to talk about. What I need to talk about in this book is about me, like what drew me to horror. And I think it has to go back to just not feeling like I fit in with society. And I need to draw upon that. And I've decided to change the name of it too, because like I said, it was called Building a Horror Zone. I've decided to change it to Morbid Memories, a chronicle of an 80s horror fan. I know there was a lot of people supporting me through this process. There was a friend of mine who used to comment on a lot of stuff that I did, and he went by Rick Baker. I don't think it's the makeup and effects artist, but he was a very big champion for me last year, and really one of the people that really just made me feel like what I was doing, you know, that I had a good focus and just making me feel positive about things when I was really just getting to my lowest. And then what I had to deal with earlier this year really put me down to a very low degree. I had no motivation to do anything. I even quit doing videos. As people remember, it was a dark period on this channel where I wasn't doing anything. And it just had to do with the fact that I was overwhelmed with depression. I've had a lot to deal with in the last 9 years of my life. Job loss, stress over money. It's taken its toll on me. I mean, I feel like I've been beaten up, and I've gotten to the point now where I'm trying to change my life. I'm trying to be more positive about it with my outlook on life. I'm trying to not settle. And I think that that's what I've done for a long time, is I settled because I felt like it was safe. It was safe in a way that would allow me to keep my home, pay my bills, maybe try to have a little vacation every once in a while. But you know, is that really what's going to make me happy at the end of the day? Is settling when I'm going to look back on my life and be happy with the decisions that I made? And I had to sort of start thinking, no, I'm not going to settle. I'm going to take risks. And writing this is a risk. I don't know if it's going to be good. I haven't written anything in a long time, and it was a struggle last year trying to put this together, but I do feel like I have the focus now. I do know where I want to start and where I want to go, and I'm just hopeful that it plays out. I'm hoping that people enjoy it, and I hope people will continue to support me here, because it means everything to me, and it's the one thing that's kind of kept me going on this journey this last 9 years. It's been a long road, and you know, I'm hopeful to keep the Horror Zone going. I do like this channel a lot. I do like sharing my love of the genre and love of pop culture and things like that, because that's what I love. That's my passion. You know, I'm regretting that I didn't take more risks when I was a little bit younger, but I'm still in the game, not out of it yet, and I feel like I have a lot to offer. So I think that writing this is going to be my first challenge in this new phase of my life. So yeah, Morbid Memories, Chronicles of an 80s Horror Fan, that is the new title of the memoir. That is something I'm going to be focusing on in the next month or two. So I won't be doing these every week like I had wanted to, because I think that's where another focus was taken, is that I was focusing more on doing the content updates than actually writing the book. So it's going to be here and there that I'm going to do these segments, but there will be a vlog called Morbid Memories. This will be the last Building a Horror Zone vlog. I hope everyone will continue to support my efforts here, and I appreciate all the kind feedback. I'm really excited for this, and I hope everyone else is too. And I want to thank everyone for taking the time to watch this, and stay tuned for some more great content coming real soon. Take it easy, stay scared as always. I have a Patreon page if everybody wants to help support me. The link is down below. And if you do help support me, Dracula here will get more treats, and Dracula really loves his treats. So any support that you can give me would be very, very much appreciated. Right, Drac?